Radios.
Yep.
Y'alls.
Gotta love it.
Oprah.
Oh yeah.
History in the making.
The lady and the gentleman.
We got somebody new, so she was not expecting it. And now we have it on camera. Like that's the thing.
It was turned. It was turned. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it.
Yo, now we have somebody like first time like,
Oh,
now
that's how y'all get that. Okay, I wasn't
You
ready.
never tell anybody ahead of time.
Yeah,
Ever.
I forgot about that. So
I ain't
yeah,
know
I'm
if I
glad
should,
we.
or I didn't know. You
I
know,
forgot. But now we got your reaction on camera, so that's gonna be so dope because it's so authentic. So authentic.
It was.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
Love it. Well, what it do, yo's?
What's good?
Chilling. Things are coming along great. Things are moving for me.
Good.
Kids doing well.
The kid or
The
kids?
kid.
I was
Okay,
gonna say you
wait.
got kids. Wait a minute.
Talking about
Whoa.
all pro is
Whoa.
the kid. All right.
Woo!
Negative.
I was about to be like,
Negative.
let's have a quick discussion
No
because,
discussion needed.
like, I just found out about the girlfriend. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. No, I've known about it for a
I
while
wasn't
now.
prepared. I don't
No,
know.
I've known about it for a while. I'm just messing.
Jeez.
I'm just messing. I
Are
just
we
have to
good
give
now?
him a hard time.
We all good now? All right.
I'm just saying, Valentine's Day just happened. A lot of folks came up with engagements and people didn't even know they was in relationships, so you don't know.
True story.
That does happen. You see all types of stuff,
You be
all
like,
rings
you was in a
and all that stuff on IG, and you're like, yo,
When was you in a relationship?
she never even acted. Ain't that homegirl from the other?
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've seen a few savage comments.
Yeah.
It's like,
So you block them. Just block them.
oh no, it has nothing to do with me.
No, them. Whoever is getting the comments, just block the person.
Yeah,
That's real
yeah,
savage like
right.
that.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. I've seen some rather hilarious ones, but that ain't what we here for today, is it, yo?
No, I am ready.
Although we could say technically we're here for something related to that stuff. aren't we?
Yeah. This
Or,
is
or
gonna
lack
be,
thereof.
this
probably.
is gonna be this is about to be a fun
Yes,
one.
yo. For the record, people.
Because I know we about to get comments off of this thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For the record, I'm gonna have a lot of jokes. I'm gonna keep them as tasteful, respectful, but there will be a few.
Okay, just a couple.
Yeah. Now everybody knows that when they hear the music change, the jab is coming. The jab is on break this week.
Oh, do you not have a jab? Or are you just ready to get into this fun
I
topic?
do, but it's not enough to like kind of saying to eat.
It's
into
just
the
a
time
slap,
together.
not a jab.
Yeah, it's more like a slap.
Oh.
It's, the jab for if you may not know, or for those that are just now tuning in for the first time, the gentleman's jab is a session where it's like therapy for myself, but oh yeah, absolutely. But I go the full extent to basically say whatever everyone's thinking. You know what I mean? I've gotten on people such as Robert Kraft in his 5 minutes of pleasure, should I call it? Maybe?
I guess.
5 minutes or something. They really said that he went in and came out in like 15 minutes. I was like, wow, you got a massage included in that time. So
I guess it don't take much.
something ended up short. But anyways, there's other things that I talk about a few times. Like, what was it? I think I got on the people that designed these, automobiles, and how there's that little space in between the seat and the door, and how if you drop anything down there, it's pretty much gone forever.
It's on into the abyss.
Thank you. That's the exact word I use.
It is.
You know what?
Unless you're like a little baby, like that can crawl under with their little fingers.
Right.
But no one's gonna do that to
No
a
one's
child.
gonna do that. Exactly.
I might, depending on what it is.
I mean,
cannot.
French fries and coins and cufflinks. I don't know.
Necessities.
Necessities, right?
French fries, the last fry.
Man, if that last, that's the start to a bad day right there.
Bruh.
You talking about
Or the last
part?
anything. You know how you like.
The one that you had to get from the bag.
Or the Thin Mints. What if you lost a Thin Mint?
Yo, don't even. Don't even. All right,
I didn't even know people eat Thin Mints. So
Oh, that's his favorite. That's why I said
Okay,
that.
you're keeping them. Okay.
Relax on that.
In business. I didn't know who kept them in business, but it's you and grandma.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I definitely copped 2 boxes when I left from Walmart.
Wow.
Absolutely. I was supposed to go grocery shopping. I said, not happening today.
Thin Mints.
Thin Mints. Line 2, if you don't mind.
So no jab today.
I mean, I kind of want to because we're streaming live, but
If it's a slap, then this ain't worthy.
Oh.
I mean,
that's a great way to put it.
pimps, could be a little pimp slappage.
Just a little backhand.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could give like part 2 of Jussie Smollett. I could do that.
Nah, I'm not touching that until.
Yes, I'm with
We get
you.
the full story.
Yeah, because now
We're
that
gonna
Chicago
replay
PD is a whole situation, and I'm like, nah, B.
Yeah.
I don't believe either side at this point.
That's
Only
crazy.
person,
Well, that's a good point.
only party right now that's even giving out accurate information is the FBI, and the FBI negates exactly everything that the Chicago PD said. So yeah, I don't know
It's
who to
getting
believe.
super sloppy.
Yeah, so I'm just not touching that until everything comes out. So I just want to let that one ride.
Well, the only right. I see what you did there. Yeah, but today's topic, okay, or lack thereof. Anyway, so real quick.
Where am I?
Oh, you better buckle in. Oh, it's gonna be.
Well, let's get an
Let's
introduction first.
Let's go ahead and
Let's
do
get
that.
an introduction first, because everybody like, well, who is the lady on here?
The lady of the hour.
Right.
So please, if you don't mind, we need to know your name.
Woo. My name is Shakia Seabrook.
Pleasure to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
Pleasure to meet you. Definitely. Pleasure to meet you. And what are you here to discuss today?
Right. The way you said it, I'm like, I'm here to discuss the way you keep saying the lack thereof sex. So my book specifically is called The Decision, or the lack thereof.
I was waiting to say
Right.
it.
That was on my Insta story. My Insta story.
Because it's like, let's talk about sex,
But in a
kind of
different
sort
kind
of
of way, right. Absolutely. But we will be touching on my book, The Decision, a conversation on the tempting, confusing, yet rewarding abstinence journey. When I say abstinence, I mean abstinence from sex. So I guess we're going to be talking about, like, my journey, what I got to say, right?
That definitely sounds like a journey to me.
Amen. I'm on it.
It's, wow.
I'm still
Or
chuckling.
maybe not.
I have so many. I got
see.
questions.
You and the whole world.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, who's? Go ahead.
No. So it's a few things. We will be talking about that because you have a book.
Right.
Which you just named the title, The Decision.
Mm-hmm.
You have a bold and beautiful
Right.
initiative, and you have an HBCU Made. So it's 3 topics actually.
So you want to get into the nitty gritty.
But the sex one is
everything.
The abstinence.
I'm here for the nitty gritty. We could touch on I'm here for the nitty gritty.
But we're here for the the abstinence part first.
Right.
That's
absolutely.
the meat and potatoes here.
Not the meat and potato. That's a snack. That was
It's just potatoes. There's no meat.
Ooh.
Really?
It's
But,
no meat. I told you the jokes were coming. I warned y'all. The jokes were coming.
He was quick. I give him that.
So I guess my first question is, have you ever had sex?
No. So I'm a virgin.
Oh.
Amen. 31 years old.
Oh.
Yes.
So
Look at now.
that makes sense.
Okay.
Wait,
So
it
that
makes sense now. I want to hear what that means.
Well, that's a good question to clear up because I'm pretty sure we're gonna get comments and stuff. It's just and I wanted to clear that up.
Fair enough,
the whole born again virgin kind of thing,
Which I don't believe in, but I hear what you're saying.
Right. So I just wanted to clear that up. Okay. So
now about that life. I've been on this journey 31 years strong. Amen. So
It's not bad. I'll throw in some church music at some point.
amen. Go ahead. I ain't mad at it.
I'm joking. I probably won't. But still, it's actually, I think that's noble. It's incredibly noble to hear about anybody, within our generation. What are we?
Yeah.
Zennials, right? That's what we
Yeah.
are. Yeah, we did
Or
episode
even
on that.
millennials.
I'm a millennial.
Millennials.
Right. I
yeah.
don't know what y'all
31.
like. Give me
She's
my
a
millennial
She's
title.
a
Right
millennial.
outside of the. Yeah.
I started the millennial era.
Yeah.
Right. So
Right.
I'm a true.
You did.
Yeah, my age
The
range,
year.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the young folks, but no, they're like crossing over to the next one. I'm
I
a
don't
true
even know.
millennial.
With Generation Z, I think.
I don't care
like
because
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the new one after millennials
The
is.
young
I don't.
ones.
I think it is Z. I know it's a letter, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, especially with you walk. Yes, questions because you in a generation where sex is everywhere.
Everywhere.
Sex sells like
absolutely.
Commercials.
Like I said,
Commercials,
sex is
movies,
just
like
movies.
I always say, like in my book, I talk about. I remember when I used to have to like sneak to watch something nasty, like HBO late at night. Like you had to stay up real late. Now the movies, they're like borderline right there, like
Come on at noon.
right.
yeah.
It's
Soap
not even
operas.
like X-rated anymore. I'm
Soap
like,
operas and
ooh.
they getting it,
Yeah.
Got the background music and everything.
Right. You know what's coming. He's like, do I stay or do I leave? Or yeah.
So I'm assuming this is attached to spirituality and your religion? Or
Amen. Being a Christian, amen. But I do let people know, and again in the book, I'm very candid with, when I first started out on my journey, I was a Christian, I was a believer, but the reason why I decided was not founded in like God. That it wasn't the reason. Now, as I get older, amen, I'm so glad that I have a deeper understanding at 31. But originally, I would love to sing, Christ's praises and say that's the reason, but it wasn't. You know what I mean?
So what's the reason?
I don't know. Listen,
that's why.
I don't have a definitive answer. That's why I guess it didn't flow like that. It's all like, I can't even remember when I first made the decision, because mind you, I'm a virgin. A lot of people that are abstaining, they started abstaining later in life. So it was this like traumatic or like revelatory moment, and they can pinpoint it. Whenever I made that decision as a young kid, I didn't realize the magnitude of what I was deciding. So I didn't sit with myself and say, you know what? The earliest memory I have is at 13. And even at 13, I didn't sit with myself like, this is a really big decision, Shakia. Like, what is the reason? I just wasn't doing it. Like, I wish I had a, you know what I mean?
No, and that's the reason why I was like, what's the reason? Because like you said, it's like a traumatic. It's like it's, like, you had sex and you're like, no, or it was, the religion, or, that's why I'm like, so what was it?
But now as I've gotten older, right, I've been on this journey, my whys have developed and they have morphed. Like my why at 21 isn't the same why at 31. You know what I mean? So it's transition with me trying to find a true understanding of like, why are you waiting? Like, what is the foundation of it? You know what I mean? And at 31, it is tied to my belief now, and understanding God's word deeper. And I tell other believers, be careful not to follow blindly, because that's not going to keep you. You know what I mean? Okay. Or it will only keep you for so long. Like when your parent says don't do something, you don't do it, but you don't understand the true meaning of why they're saying that and why it's protecting you. When you get that understanding, it helps you like stand stronger. Right. So me delving in the word more and really understanding, like, not even in like the Bible doesn't make sense, but logically it makes sense. There's a lot of ramifications of out here casually having sex. You know what I mean? And I see that. And I'm like, okay, God, I get it. Like, I really get, like, you're not trying to be a blocker. You're being a blessing. Like, I don't ever second guess my choice, ever. When I sit and I look at this world and my friends and them having, children out of wedlock and just the headache and the heartbreak that comes along with it, I'm just like, if I can dodge that, I'm going to dodge it. You know what I mean? If I can preserve myself to stay against that, then I will. So, yeah, the why has definitely developed over the years, but initially, I don't know. Maybe I heard it somewhere. I don't know.
Like, this sounds cool. I just have to stick with it.
Right. And then but then as I listen,
but as your journey with
Christ,
and you start looking around. Not even that, like high school, I seen girls doing it and the respect that guys didn't have for them. Like, I was a tomboy for years, so I hung with the guys and I heard how they talk about the girls. I'm like,
Tomboys unite.
Listen, right? Amen. I'm like, I don't want them to talk about me like that. You know, then you get to college and you see people busting it open, and you get all the way. You get pregnant. You got dropout now. Or you was with him last night, and he look you in the face and don't say nothing. And again, I hear guys talking about I'm just like, okay, nope,
you good,
nope,
right?
Nope, okay. Like, you know what I mean? So nah.
I do have I have two really really good questions. I already know what the fellas are thinking.
You got to be the guy.
I have to. Come on now. But I'm still a gentleman. But this is for them. Again, this is me just, I'm voicing their thoughts. First question is, let's define sex. Because that encompasses a lot of different things. There's a lot of different levels. So if you don't mind, please let the, not just the fellas, but let everyone know exactly what quote unquote sex.
So by definition, it's penetration, right? So the penis into the vagina and oral. So a lot of people take that off the table. They're like, oral isn't sex, but by definition, oral is a form of sex. So for me, it's a no to oral both ways. Right. So it would compromise what I say I'm abstaining from.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I get it. Second question though is, do you think that is something that should or does? Even I guess maybe it's two questions, but is that something that you bring up on the quote unquote first date? And do you think that's something that?
I was going to dating. I was definitely getting to dating.
Favorite. I just did a live last night with this guy, and that question came up, and he was like, is yours. So your question is, does it come up in the sense of like, do guys bring it up, or do I think that's something that should be brought up?
No, I mean, well, I guarantee you guys aren't really going to ask. Just being honest. Well, there are, of course, there's always exceptions.
On the first date.
First date. That's
not unless they just
Go
trying to
ahead.
smash.
No, go ahead. Say it. On the first date.
But on the first date, I think that's more of something that should be volunteered, because again, like it's not a question that comes out on the first date type of thing.
Amen.
You know what I mean? So is that something that is, do you volunteer that information?
So I love that you said that, and I'm gonna like even tie it to the fact that this podcast, lady and the lady and the gentleman. I always say, first of all, I'm not offering up because I don't think it's none of your business on the first date.
Okay.
So that's like a no go.
Gotcha.
But furthermore, I don't think a guy should ever bring it up, but you'd be surprised at how often it does come up.
Oh.
And women who are abstaining feel like they're supposed to offer it up, like the guy deserves the no, especially if he asks. You know what I mean? If we don't tell him, it's misleading. I'm like, first of all, it's like ungentlemanlike to bring it up. So that's why I tied that to the fact that you can say like,
the lady
you shouldn't bring it up, right? Because as a gentleman, why would you even be bringing it up on the first day? Like, talk about something that's so intimate, my bedroom activities, because he don't know I'm not busting it open. So why would you even be inquiring about it? You know what I mean? And so I love that you touched on it, but on my part, like I said, it's none of his business for me. On the first date, there's so many other things that I want you to know about me. That's the last thing on my mind that I'm like, I should be telling you this. And I tell you, I don't even know if I like you yet.
Facts.
No.
So why am I offering up this intimate detail?
First date.
Right.
It's interview.
Right. I may never see you again. I don't even know your character. I tell women all the time, be careful with what information you offer up. They say, oh, well, it's going to expose if he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm like, or you're creating a bigger wolf. Because there's guys that will take that information and manipulate you. Like, oh, yeah, I respect that. But at every twist and turn, he trying to get you in the bed. You know what I mean? So know his character. Know if it's a safe space that you can offer that up to him. And know that if it ain't for him, he's going to walk away. Or he's going to stand there and say, I can take that. But you offer up to the wrong person, and they will manipulate you just to get that. Like, just to be like, on that ego type stuff, like, she said she wasn't giving it up, but I got it. So you have to be careful. I'm not volunteering it up until I feel like you're relevant enough. Until then, it's irrelevant. You don't need to know. You know what I mean? And that's just my take on it. Some people say you should. I'm like,
So you waiting to marry?
I am waiting to marry.
Okay.
Amen. Let's define that. Right.
I was good because you say you like until somebody. I'm like, wait a minute. Are you waiting to marry? Or you just waiting for the right
somebody?
Right.
I don't even know. I tell her like, what does that look like? The right one. I don't.
Yeah.
The only right one is the one that enters into a covenant before me and say we do this forever.
Okay.
Besides that, I don't know at the altar. Besides that, I don't know how to say right. Like, there's a lot of good guys out there that can get it right. You know, but he's not making a covenant with you for God, so that ain't for me.
Okay. Are you in a relationship now?
You don't want to.
Are you?
I'm sorry. Go.
Wait a minute.
No,
what?
Not about that. No. We're past that. I was referring specifically to the covenant part.
Oh, okay.
And what, marriage?
Yeah. What if he wants to, and you're just like, I just don't know if he's the one.
If he wants to get married and I don't?
Yeah. I'm sorry. It
won't laugh. I don't know.
No, it's okay. It was just something that I thought about, and just specifically off of what you just stated, as far as like, when you said that there are some that, how did you phrase it? You said they could be right one, but they're not.
Like,
really
there's a lot of good guys that could be right for you.
Yeah, and so I was just saying, what if you have been with in a relationship, the guy for a time? Well, got to clarify,
right?
But you've been with him for however long, and then he, I guess, proposes or whichever, and you're just like, man, I really don't know. I really don't know. Would you still say he? I guess I'll probably answer my own question.
Right.
Yeah. Because as you're talking it out, I think
I guess it wouldn't really be the right one if she's still with him.
Yeah.
Because if everything else that you're saying, it seems like you're the person that as soon as you feel it's not going to work out, you're out.
I would hope. I mean, you never know when you're in that situation, but I would hope so. Absolutely. If I feel like
there's people that don't.
Right, that's what I say. I don't know. I never say never because I don't know what it's like to be in a position where you really love someone and maybe they're really wrong for you. I might stick around. I don't, you know what I mean? I would hope not. I hope my friends would shake me and be like, girl, this ain't it. But I don't know. But right now I would say, I would say, no, this isn't working out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you in a relationship?
I'm not in a relationship.
So, but you've had relationships, of course.
No, so this is the first time I got asked this. This is
because there's a follow-up question.
No, but you're so right. But I've never been asked that question. So I've never had, I would say, like a true relationship.
What?
Right.
Wait,
that's I've never had this asked.
So you've never been boyfriend, girlfriend with somebody?
I've never been boyfriend and girlfriend with someone.
Never. Like high school,
seventh grade. Oh, with a guy over Christmas break.
And so in your adult life, right? Well, I mean,
she was saying never ever. So I felt like, let me.
You can't absolutely.
It up.
So your adult life, you've never been in a relationship, but you're dating and all that good stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm dating.
Well, I'll use that then. Mm-hmm. So when you are dating, well, because if she has been in relationships, it's like, how do you have the conversation? Because now you're in a relationship. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of,
could that be the reason why?
No.
Okay.
No. Right. Well, and again,
I
was going to go to that as well, but with her dating, how does because now you're past the first date, you're dating, you're seeing this guy. That's why I was saying relationship, because I'm like, so how,
I've seen guys,
how's
like,
the
I've been in like
situationships,
right? Like in college, I've entertained, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so okay, well,
for a while, it was a long time, but
yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Entertained.
Meaning it wasn't boyfriend. It wasn't boyfriend girlfriend, but it was like talking. We chilled on a regular basis, but I didn't want a boyfriend.
You were doing boyfriend girlfriend stuff, but no title.
Yeah, he couldn't be like, you can't go on a date with him. You ain't my boyfriend.
She wasn't doing boyfriend girlfriend stuff, but that wasn't a joke. That wasn't a joke. I was just clarifying.
What is boyfriend girlfriend stuff? Sex? That's it.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I mean, in this day and age, and everything, what society is, it absolutely is.
So if you have sex with somebody, that's your girlfriend?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
If you have sex with a woman, that's your girlfriend.
No, some people, they're practically married.
Oh, okay.
There are some men
society
and
nowadays
that have a once mine, always mine mentality.
I think a lot of people are having sex out here, but ain't making them their girlfriend.
Yeah. So.
I know who's ringtone. Who's
that's not me.
Oh, it's mine.
On what, your phone? Oh.
Let it play.
Yeah, just let it play.
It's an alarm.
So it's not gonna stop.
Oh yeah, you probably gotta turn your alarm off.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Hey, it's all caught on camera.
It is caught on camera.
I'm just saying.
We might edit that part out though.
No, I'm keeping it.
Keeping it?
As far as the video. Now you can edit it out as far as the audio.
Oh, the audio, yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah, that's great. But
and we're back from commercial break. Welcome back. You good?
I hope so.
Enjoyed it. No, take your time. No rush.
But no, so being in dating and situationships or with a guy, how does the conversation go? That was really my question. How does the conversation go? Because now you're more than first date. So I'm pretty sure, usually after about the third date or you're chilling with a dude.
Right.
Oh, it's going to come up.
Okay, so let's be super transparent, right? So really in college, because I was a virgin, I went to a smaller school, Elizabeth City State University. Shout out. Hello.
Way out there.
Hello. And I was known on campus, and attached with that, the virgin thing does come up.
Yep.
So I feel like it preceded me. A lot of people knew
that
was already pursuing me. Right, they probably knew too, right?
No, I mean, it's a small school, seriously. It is a small school, so everybody probably knows everything about everybody.
That's very
right, especially, I know he tried
Aggie's over here humbled. I'm just
humble. So yeah, but in my adult life, because I haven't really entertained someone on a consistent basis, I guess it came out. No, I'm lying. I thought that it didn't come out, but it did. But that was respected.
Okay.
That's the guys that I have entertained. They respected it. They did.
Okay.
I've never had any pushback. I've never had no guy be like, "Oh, well, I can't handle that. I'm gonna check for you later."
Okay. See, that's
they lingered. They hung around because I'm super fun. They might have been smashing somebody else. I don't know. You know what I mean? But they still want to be in my company. They still want to take me out and chill because they enjoyed me, the essence of who I am. You know what I mean? But they might have been poking and stroking somewhere else. I don't know.
So back to his thing where he was talking, because that's the man's perspective of you haven't been in a real relationship because people are deterred by your...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So I know that's... listeners are probably like, yeah, that's probably the reason why.
No,
right.
that's
so.
Not.
Why do you think that's not?
Because I choose not to. There's plenty of guys that were all for it, but I didn't want a boyfriend. Like, oh, absolutely.
Okay.
My friend always jokes like, you always get the good guys. Like, she wanted for years. Now she's been in relationships, but wanted to have a boyfriend. And I just always get sent like amazing guys, and I'm just like, that's not what I want. That's not what I'm desiring right now. So definitely ball is in my court. Definitely.
Oh, so you got choice.
Oh yeah, I'm out here getting chose. Right.
I got something for that.
Oh.
I'm out here getting chose. What?
So I think, first of all, it's very admirable that you at least, no, I mean, serious. I don't want you to think that anything that I'm saying is shade, because it's really not. It's really not. Again, I'm just being the voice of other people's thoughts. Exactly.
Right.
But I do think that messes up a lot of guys.
What is?
Because if, just like you said, you get sent, like you're sent a lot of amazing guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and guys, I mean, just to be real, like, we know if we're amazing or not. Deep down, we know we're amazing. We know, like, the areas in which we're terrible, or we got to do work on, or we're really a hole in these streets, or whatever. But we know. So if a guy is, considers himself to be, respectable, he's a gentleman, he's, at least achieved the status of being amazing, and he still gets shot down, he might go back to the drawing board. I mean, it's things that happen. I mean, I'm not saying that it happens in your situation. But,
I get what you're saying. So, a guy's thinking, darn,
I'm perfect, ain't I?
Right. I got shot down by a chick that ain't even, who's a virgin. Darn, what about, and then he self-checked himself. Is that what you're saying? Like,
yeah, well, I mean, men handle things differently. So
I'm just saying.
One guy may self-check himself, the next
like,
guy may.
Now, I thought I was doing something.
Exactly.
I ain't even giving her the D. She said.
And she said, no, that's how they get you. See, I can think with a clear mind. And D will mess you up.
Sometimes the D does.
You heard that D challenge.
It's a decision maker sometimes.
You heard the D challenge. All the stuff they say they do for the D.
I personally didn't pay attention to that because I don't know any of those people. It's never the people that you know personally that release these videos like that.
Listen. I listened. I was curious. I said, y'all do all that? Wow.
They probably do.
No, I know they do.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I went to college.
Us gentlemen out here, we don't meet them. We never meet them. No. Yeah, exactly.
So I want to focus on some of the topics you said. The conversation of tempting, confusing, and yet rewarding. So I want to talk about the tempting, the confusing. You kind of hit on the temptation part, but the confusing and rewarding pieces.
Amen. Confusing because, we live in a sex-crazed society. And I always joke about when I went into college, I was so naive. I was so inexperienced. I know you still
so
are.
Green.
Right. I was
everybody was like, you're so green.
Right.
Yeah.
And they just thought it was their duty to inform me of the male anatomy and everything that goes on and everything they did the night before, after the party.
Referring to women that were informing you?
My friends, my girlfriends that was doing stuff,
are they
having
married?
sex.
Are they?
This was in college.
It's just a question. Again, this is what they want to
Right. No. In college. When I first got to college, I was super green and they were just so fascinated, right? And so it was like their duty to inform me of what I was missing, educate me. So you do come to a point where you can second guess your decision, and that's why I said you really have to be grounded in your why. And you start second guessing, am I missing out? Am I gonna regret this? And so it's like a conflict. You get confused, why am I really doing this? Is it worth it? How long am I gonna wait? You know what I mean? Am I gonna lose it after college and regret that I didn't do it in college? So that's where the confusing piece comes into play. And the second guessing. But I talk about my book, it was when my friends would have to take a plan B the next day. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not so confused anymore. You know what I mean? Or, I love my friends, but they have a child and then the guy skedaddles. And I'm like, and then they're, with the baby, a single mother, and that wasn't the vision they had.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah. Clarity comes again. So that's just really the conflict is you're living in a society that says everything but wait and glamorizes sex so much and tells you no one's going to pursue you because you're not having sex. No one's ever going to marry you. You're missing out. You're not going to know what you're doing. They just feed you everything. And so you get conflicted. But I thank God for clarity. At this age now, it's far and few that I second guess it. And then the rewarding, oh my goodness, so many. But, two that I could say is one is self-worth. I think that's the best thing you can get when you decide to abstain because, You know, when women can do some things in the bedroom, like the splits and the handstands and the run and jump on it and all that, like guys be like, yo, she's a beast in the room. Like she go crazy on it, right? Oh, yeah. And they feel good about that. Like they can take pride in that they can do that, you know, what the next woman can't do. And they begin to put their worth in what their body can offer up to a man.
Versus what their mind can
offer. Or
anything
anything else. You know, you ask them like, well, what else can you do? Like if you took that away, if a guy said, I don't even want to go there with you, how else, you know what I mean, can you stimulate him? You know, where would that worth be? And a lot of women don't even know. They hold on to that. They use it as like a weapon. Like, oh, I'm going to put this thing on him and get this. Or I'm going to put this on him and he going to make me wifey. Because that's all they know. But when you strip that away, you're forced to go deeper and find out really who you are, what you have to offer. Me not having sex made me understand how dope I am outside of what I can do for a man with my body. Mm-hmm. So I, you know, that's a big reward for me. Self-preservation, like, you know, STDs and I say that can't happen after marriage, but I'm just saying, you know, ideally you marry someone where there's going to be fidelity, right. But you take that chance you take that chance outside of marriage that you can acquire STD, HIV, AIDS. You know, people don't want to say that, but I'm like,
about that anymore.
No, really. I did a live video last night, and the guy that I was doing it with, he was like, STDs. I'm like, AIDS, like we don't say that anymore. Like it went away. Like there's no cure. People are still dying, from complications of it. Yeah. But we don't talk about that. And I'm like, they need to remember that. You know, unplanned pregnancy for me, like, you know, my hope is when I get married, we plan it and it's beautiful. And, you know, so just me preserving myself, but not being bonded to someone. I feel like we bond with people mentally, physically, emotionally. You know what I mean? There's healthy bonds, you know, but there's also unhealthy bonds. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be bonded, for me, with multiple people because that means a bond has been broken somewhere. You know what I mean? So just preserving myself, keeping myself out of harm's way in any way I can. So that's what that does for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's a reward for it as well. But there's so many on my list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, benefits.
I just wanted to touch on them. You got any questions? Jock is over here like...
No, I got questions.
Mind racing. Mind racing.
Right. That's
Mona, I'm trying to rewind back to something she said earlier. I remember now.
I respect it.
So, like you were saying that, like some women are... I forgot how you phrased it, but it was like you were saying that I guess they put more pride in what they can do in the bedroom. Mm. And so, from a man's perspective, we are beginning to see those women evolve. And so now they're actually a lot more educated. They have higher paying jobs. They have their own this, that, and the third, and they still do those things in the bedroom. Mm-hmm. But I think at the same time they still use those same, I wouldn't say games, but they still try to quote unquote trap a man in. Do whatever they can to get a man. And oftentimes, to be honest with you, and maybe I'm probably not, because at some point every guy gonna think about this, but he's gonna wonder, all right, I didn't put in that much work to get all that. You know what I mean? For this, she's like a VP at a bank or a company or something like that, or so she has a very well-paying job,
right?
All this stuff, but I mean, I didn't put in that much work. So am I like number 3 on the list, or am I like number?
Oh, you start getting your feelings. Oh, okay, right.
It does make you wonder when you driving home later.
Like, am I that special? Am I that special? No, exactly. You're not.
No, exactly. Right. They definitely evolve.
Same with women. I'm like, don't think you're that special. Like that's and don't get me wrong, I'm not putting these women in a box. I'm not saying like you can go sick on it and that means like that's all you have to offer. But there are women that solely rely on that. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm like, if you take that away, where does your worth lie? You know what I mean? So that's what's been a benefit for me, because I've been able to tap into what else I have to offer. I hate when a woman just thinks like, that's how I'm going to get a man. Right. And they're reliant on that. Like, you know what I mean? Because that means you think you have nothing else to offer outside that. What happens when you meet the guy that's like, nah, I need something deeper. Like, I got friends that's like, that's cute, she can go sick, but what kind of mother would she be to my child? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Things like that. As we get older, we hope that men evolve as well. And I've met some men where they're like, sex is awesome, but I'm like trying to look for my wife, so you got to come with a little more. Right. And if a woman has not developed the more, she don't got nothing else to offer.
No, she's friend zoned.
Right, and that's sad.
Like, or a jump off.
Right, or you put in that box like, nah, she not wifey. Like, she ain't about to be the mother of my
But
children.
if I need to, she there.
Yeah.
Like, one thing with me is the best way I could describe it is I need someone that I can wake you up at 3 a.m. because my mind is racing about something, and I can talk to you about it, and you're right there with me. You know, whether it's about politics or career strategy or somebody I'm mentoring or somebody that's mentoring me or whatever, I got to be able to talk about that. And I've had conversations, not at 3 a.m, but I've had conversations with women, and I mean, my God, I left them on planet Earth or something. They could not keep up.
Yeah.
She's like, but let me do that thing you like, right?
Yeah, exactly, seriously. And I'm like, this is great, but it's not fixing the problem.
Right,
I'm
right,
still
right.
pissed off at work tomorrow.
Right.
And so yeah, there are a lot of men that do think on that level, where it's like, all right, you know, the sex is cool, all right, test drove it, great, appreciate it. Now I know what to look forward to, but I got to see where that mind is at.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not that brain, fellas. I see where that mind
Literally
is at.
the mind and intelligence.
Right.
So I want to go back to clarity, and I'll segue a little bit into the bare, bold, and beautiful piece, because I think that is a good segue for self-esteem for girls and women, because I've actually read the book The Weight as well, and that was one of the biggest, and both of them, Devon and Megan, both had sex before and they stopped.
Yes.
And Megan, and I'm gonna just speak from Megan's piece because a female, her whole part was the clarity. She had so much clarity because now, instead of, you know, looking at a guy from a physical perspective and what can he offer me in the bedroom, it's kind of like what we've been saying. So what else do you have to offer?
Right.
And then you can kind of see them manipulate you. You're just more focused on that. And it brings in that whole, you start to feel your self-worth and self-esteem piece. So as far as clarity and the self-esteem, and I guess with the bare, bold, and beautiful, is that what you're incorporating into that movement?
So no, bare, bold, and beautiful came, I was working on my book for a long time because it's a journey. It literally was like years of me. I wasn't trying to just write a book. Like, you know, it was like as I was living life. So like my dating experience, like every topic of discussion starts off with a little situation I found myself in and just being completely transparent. So literally something would happen, I would go write about it. Like, oh, you know, so that was just like ongoing for a while, and bare, bold, and beautiful came up, but that was something totally different. That's what we talk about creative, right? Where my mind, like,
but I guess I think it would be attached because you're not solely focused on a physical. You become more aware of yourself as a woman. So that's why I figured it was attached to someone.
No, so bare, bold, and beautiful came completely from like a physical aspect. When I was living in New York going to grad school, and if you in New York, like you could be on the train with like a model. You know what I mean? Like everybody's ready. You ready to go, you know, if you live in New York. And I found myself for real falling into that like makeup and like I never wore makeup in undergrad, not like that. We were shopping and we just cared so much about aesthetically like our appearance, right? And it's like an ongoing trying to one up someone, you know what I mean? And I remember when I finished grad school, I moved back to Connecticut, and I was like getting ready or something, and it was just so much. I'm like, just like, let's pause for a minute. Like, you've gotten so far away from who you are, trying to live up to this standard that like you've neglected yourself. You know what I mean? And I was turning to all these like physical adornments, makeup, you know, certain clothing, certain labels, jewelry, but then you strip that away and you don't feel as good about yourself. So I was preparing to shoot my documentary, and I created a Facebook group and was just challenging women to just be transparent about the things we struggle with loving ourselves physically. And so we started doing No Makeup Thursdays, where we like wear no makeup and post pictures and, you know, lift each other up, and we're like commenting each other and
John's face is like, somebody.
What?
How big is this Facebook group? I'm just curious.
I don't even know that. No, it's maybe like 1,800 people. I don't really do it anymore. I started off with that, but it evolved. So then, so we were just doing all these things just to pick each other up. And then, so the bear was focusing on stripping ourselves of those external adornments, being bold in it, and defining our own beauty. But then I started doing expos and seminars, and then I built a curriculum called Talk About It for middle school and high school girls. So it evolved, but it always focuses on self-acceptance, empowerment, and sisterhood. So no matter what event I did, expo I did, seminar I did, the curriculum, it always focused on that. But it's evolved with outside of more of just makeup. That's where it started. But it's evolved to so much. But you are right. I realized in all my projects, what I was doing is at the basis of it is self-esteem, right? Even with this abstinence thing, you know, I meet so many women who, and there's some women find it liberating. I'm not talking to you, right? Keep doing what you're doing if that's what you love to do. But there's some women that give of themselves because they're so empty and they don't know what they deserve. They have a really low self-esteem. They do not understand their worth. So I realized that at the basis of a lot of these like unhealthy behaviors, substance abuse, promiscuity, and it can go on and on. It's not understanding like your worth. Because if you truly see your body as a temple, if you really understood your worth, you would not harm it. You know what I mean? Like when you feel good about yourself, you preserve it. You don't put toxic things in your body. You don't allow anybody to enter your body. So you're right. And in hindsight, it did tie. Okay. But initially, they were just...
As you were on the journey, you didn't know. But as you... No, right. You know...
When women started saying, like, Shakia, can I abstain? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, why are you asking me permission for something that's pertaining to your body? Right. You know, and I just... It's
Man,
at the base
of it. A lot of fellas like to meet her.
Right, and that's on my hair. No, but he's right. They prey on them. They do. I tell women they can sense that and they prey on it. Oh my goodness, they do. You guys are like vultures.
Okay, well, all right.
You are. They're like vultures. Right. They see her hurting. They're like, let me give you a hug.
Hold on now.
let me make it feel good.
All right, now look, human nature. Is it funny, y'all? Is it funny?
That thing.
The attorney's about to come out of me in a second. But no, seriously. All right, look, it's human nature for people to flock towards the path of least resistance.
Mm-hmm. That's the whole word. I'm with you. Go ahead. Right.
So if person A is, I mean, there's nothing. Just a text, ADM, and then bam, smashing. Yep. An hour later, versus person B that says, well, first off, I need a date. It's got to be here, or here, and then tell you that you have to be the one to plan the date, even though they gave you where you have to go. But so if you're looking at a woman that's basically all it took was a DM versus the one that's she's got the list. Where do you think men? Where do you think people are going to go?
No, I'm with you. Literally in the book, I say that's why with guys, I give you one shot. I give you one chance to like talk slick or say something crazy because you're used to it, right? You're used to getting it so easy. So if you get it easy, why are you just automatically going to make it difficult? But once I let you know, this is how I get down, that's it. But that one, I know because you're thinking, oh, I didn't, she's like all the others, and I get it. They're not going to try to do the most. Why? Why would they do the most if they don't have to?
So when you say you give them one chance, you're referring to them basically trying.
No, okay, try, but it could be like they could say, like I think you're cute, like you should come through my apartment. Come through. That's one. Because you should not be inviting me to your apartment. Like I don't even know. Literally, I don't even know you. But it probably worked any other time. So you're like, why am I going to spend a coin if I could just have her come to the apartment? But when I tell you, like, no, you're going to bring me somewhere, or we're going to go out somewhere. Right. That's it. But the next time you hit me up, you should be planning something. Don't say it again.
I see what you mean in that regard. Okay, I got you.
Or even, you might try to, and I'm like, but once you know, don't try to get it.
Yeah, well, hey.
Yeah.
Some people.
So she's being transparent. She's saying when she says one chance, just like, okay,
you can put on notes.
I put So that's all you need is once. Like there's no tempting. Exactly. There's no Like no, this is how I am. So keep moving.
Yeah, and that was what I wanted to clarify because to some people it's a challenge. Some people enjoy challenges.
Talk about that. Did you read the book?
I mean, I may have done a little bit of research.
No, you lying. I love when people be speaking the truth.
I could just be a smart guy.
Right, and then speaking the truth, right? Like I'm like, does it not make sense? I get it. I think it's a little challenge, but so many guys, I'm telling you, were like, oh, you was for real. What you thought? They thought it was that cat and mouse type thing. They did. Yeah. Where like one of my guy friends, where I had to check this guy recently, and my guy friend was like, well, you may have led him on. No, I didn't. Nah, you may have. I said I was very clear on what I told him. He understood. Oh, well, sometimes actions. No, I told you out my mouth. Like, that's it. Now, if you start thinking otherwise, that's not on me, but I told you. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't be like, oh, well, I thought she meant. No, you heard what I said, and then you decided to interpret it a different way. My words were very clear, but they think, she said one thing, but what she really want, according to who? Not my words.
Oh, assumption. Oh, well, that's society now. Everybody assumes. Right. Like, you can say, speak to you blue, and they be like, well, I mean, women do it. Like, women, a man will tell them, like, I ain't looking for a relationship, and then, like, I'm gonna change it.
Right.
So I mean, it works on both sides of the fence. It's not just
Absolutely.
men. Women do that stuff too. But yeah, society's just all about assumptions, which is it's my biggest pet peeve.
Look, I'm a choke society.
But I'm the same way. And my friends, like my best friend's a guy, and he's like, "You're too aggressive. You're too." I'm like, no, like honestly, I'm not. Like I know what I want, and I'm very sure in what I want.
Right.
So
how sure are you, girls?
And I am, and I'm like you, like I put it up front. I'm like half the dudes I date, we're dating, I give you the book in the beginning. Like if I'm upset, you know how to, here's the triggers. Here's this, so I know.
Right.
Yo, that's very important what you just said. Like a lot of people don't do that. People
I get it.
They don't basically teach the person how to date you. You know what I mean? And so it's like I'm walking into this situation blind. I don't know what pisses you off. I don't know what you love. And I mean, we may get hints here and there. You can assume that a person is going to be cognizant that it's dropping hints.
And I get that, and that's what I said. So my pet peeve is assumption. So I'm like, let me eliminate any assumption from you by just telling you up front.
Right.
This is how. But again, it goes back. Even if you go bigger with love, I have to teach someone to love me. Just like if I'm in a relationship with the man, he needs to help me love him and understand him.
Absolutely.
It's two separate people trying to be in one relationship. So we ain't going to think the same. We ain't going to react the same. So you assuming like, just have the transparency is huge. Transparency is just huge.
It really is.
But that, like I said, that I can definitely be with you on that. Like, I can't
take it for what it is. Don't be assuming.
No, that's really good. That's great information. I get to see you having to have that conversation. Maybe not the conversation, but I can see you saying that one time, and it's going in one ear out the other, and so 2 minutes later,
I think I see the challenge a lot. Because as they say, we're mammals, right? So a man, that lion is just like, you don't want.
Right.
Let me see what I
right.
Absolutely. I'm literally in the book. I'm glad that it's not just me. Because sometimes people think like, nah, it's not that serious. Absolutely, people see it as a challenge. Especially when the virginity thing comes up. I talked about that last night on the live. That's one thing I have to be very cautious about. And that's why I tell people, be careful with what information you offer to these guys that you're entertaining. Yeah. Because some guys hear virgin and their eyes light up like, oh, I'm going to conquer that.
Yeah.
And they think like, nah, no, absolutely. They see it as a challenge like, what? Ain't nobody got that 31? She ain't met me yet. Like, she ain't heard what I had to say. You know what I mean? So I have to be very careful about guys' motives. Some people would say but absolutely they see it as that. It's a challenge.
But yeah, some good guys out here.
They are. I've met amazing. I've met seriously, and they proved it with their actions.
They just didn't make it.
Listen, I remember I first gave the talk. Literally, I was like, it's not you, but me. Oh my. No, it was so natural. I wasn't even trying to be funny, but in that moment, I realized why, like that cliche, it really was like, they are awesome, but it really is me where I'm like, that's just not, I'm like laser focused on a whole bunch of things. I'm like, you deserve someone that's all in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be all in. You know what I mean?
Choice. Like, right. You are good guys by choice.
Awesome guys.
But I'm glad you said that because we women, us independent ones now, and the ones that got shit going on, why you great? Why you single? Right.
Exactly.
You crazy?
You ain't got no kids.
She's crazy.
Right now.
I'm out here crazy.
I'm not like, I know what I want. I know what I deserve.
Amen.
And so it's just kind of like, it's a choice. Like just like guys get to pick and choose.
Right.
We got the same option to pick
Absolutely.
and choose. You just may not be what's for me right now.
Right.
You may not be the one. You know.
And I think guys have a hard time. Oh my goodness, I hear so much from guys, but they have a difficult time that like you would choose to be single. Like because there's women that are waiting, and I say do not wait, but there's women waiting to be chose. Like, is it my turn? Is it my turn? Is it my turn? So they know like guys are like, okay, I'm ready to settle down. Like, I choose you, and they just think women are so excited. Like, I've been waiting. You know, so then when they choose you, you're like, but I don't choose you. They're like, what? Like, wait, plot twist.
That's all it was. She didn't hear me.
I'm confused, right? And I'm like, no, it's a no, and I'm okay. Like, I love my singleness. I tell people I'm so comfortable in it that you have to prove to me like why I would forfeit this amazing place I'm in. Like, why would I give up something amazing for what? It better be like super amazing. Other than that, I'm like,
You have massive amounts of self-love. And that's what it is. You have to love self. Like, you have to just be in love with you, date you, just be comfortable. Like, yes. You know, the Tom Cruise sliding through the, you know, like, yes.
Right.
You know how he slid through with his drawers. And like, you know, you just comfortable in your own space. You have to be that. And that's a problem with most people. It's just like, they're ready to... They're waiting, not realizing they're not ready.
Right. Building. Okay. That's how some people build, right? Don't be waiting around.
Yeah, you might not be ready and think, you know, when you sit here waiting on him, it's like, honey, you don't even love yourself. Or male, you don't even love yourself and you think, you know, I'm ready for a wife. Really? Are you?
Or
are you ready to be a husband? Right.
And that applies to both people.
Facts.
But so one thing, you know, again, voice of people. So
people just keep whispering his ear.
They do. You know, got a Bluetooth microphone.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But it sounds like you're kind of headed in that Oprah Winfrey direction, though.
Hey, Oprah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, she's
Shonda Rhimes.
She is a
listener.
But she got a situation. She
more like Shonda Rhimes. Shonda
Rhimes.
But,
I mean, how old was she when that came up? I don't know his name.
Stedman.
What's his last name?
Stedman. He does not have a last name.
Exactly.
He's like Stedman's probably happy to be Mr. Winfrey.
I absolutely would be happy.
You never know. He might have been a divorcee and was like, I'm never getting married again.
Right. You don't know Stedman. He might be like, nope, Oprah, I don't choose you. We don't know. He might know his worth.
Let's be real now.
He's like, don't get crazy. But listen, no, because the truth is, if she's going to stick around and do all those things, listen, he could be the one that's like, nah, and Oprah may be like, you know what, I really care for you, Stedman, I'm going to stay.
We
don't know Oprah's self-esteem.
But I think the reason why a lot of guys are, I guess they're hesitant to accept, you know, when you say that you're comfortable being single right now, is because we literally get fussed out. Because
I'm in the country
women.
for real.
No, seriously, like we get fussed out by women. I mean, I'm talking about these long
because y'all not ready and
like
we're ready to settle down.
Exactly. And I'm like, I just don't like you like that. You know, and I devoted all this time to you. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But seriously, there really are people that react in that way and think that, you know, just because they're ready, that, you know, men are playing games because they are not ready to choose that particular woman. And so, like I said, we get fussed out all the time, daily. You're not a real man if you get fussed out by at least, I say, 5 women that are ready.
Well, we're more. I think because we're more emotional than we're ready to, you know. But women,
absolutely.
But you know, women, you know, we just kind of mature faster than y'all.
That's what they said. I think some studies have done that too.
So I think the percentage of us being ready over men, yes. So there's definitely more women like, so bro, what you doing? But the difference is you need to have enough, going back to self-esteem and self-worth, you need to have enough self-love, self-esteem, and self-worth to know you should, like, if you got to have that conversation with that man, then you should be moving on.
Yes,
because
you
that
should
lets
I gotta convince you.
Exactly.
No.
Right. Or I gotta. Well, we've been talking. No.
Right.
No.
You know, and men, the men that I met, right, that's at that stage, they're like, oh, I knew. Like when they after married, like I knew. They didn't. It was no convincing, no begging, pleading. When you see like a treasure, you're not gonna sit on it, right? You're gonna grab it up for the next person to get it. So I'm like, I don't understand if a man is like lingering around and he doesn't see you as a treasure. Like, let me get this before somebody else get it. Like, what's going on? Yeah. I never want to convince a man. Like,
I'm
that's hurt. You know what I mean? You finally get the ring because you beg
I'm not that one. It's like, nope, I'm not doing it.
That's not knowing the word. When you know you that bomb, you're like, okay, you don't see it. There's plenty of other guys that will see it. And I think women tend to be more intentional from just the interactions I have with women. Like, they don't want to just be in a relationship because they're like, if I'm in a relationship with him, we've been together a year, like, it's headed towards marriage. So what's taking so long? Where a guy could just be enjoying the ride. Like, they don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm just chilling. You're not the one, but I enjoy your company. And I'm not ready to choose somebody, so I'm just going to kick it with you. But women are like, we've been at it for a year, like, you know, when I get the ring. Like,
all right, there's, man, So sorry, I gotta keep them coming.
I know the people
They
in your
do,
ear.
they do. But I got phrases.
It's hard.
Respectfully. All right. So in some situations, no. Here we go. Okay, I got it. It's the best way to say this. I guess now I'm talking to your women viewers, subscribers, listeners, supporters.
Amen.
There we go. I had to find the right one. But the best way to, I guess, determine if a guy is serious or not is just ask yourself, if I were, insert some very successful and famous woman. So if I were Cardi B, if I were Oprah, if I were
Cardi B is really on top.
The CEO of this woman CEO, help me out. I just had her name. The woman.
None are coming to me right
Okay.
now. I know
women.
There are women.
They really are.
Yeah, I can't think of the name.
Well, there's one. I don't know her name, but she just became the COO of Amazon, I believe.
Yeah, I didn't talk about, but I just
I didn't get her name though. But yeah. So just say to yourself, if I were this person, would he be going hard after me? The answer is absolutely yes, he would. Because I mean, again, path of least resistance. He's got all types of status, wealth. He can be in the limelight. He can be on the side. Money's not going to be an issue. You know what I mean? There's so many things that he knows, or he thinks, that he can get from a celebrity. A woman that's already, quote unquote, made it. So that's all you really have to do is just, all right, if I were this person, would he act differently? Would he approach our relationship differently? The answer absolutely will be yes. Guarantee you. And if the answer is yes, it's time for you to go. Because what you're waiting on, unless, I mean, let me not say that, because sometimes it is a timing thing. He just graduated, he's just now starting his career, he went back to school or something, got like a PhD or whatever. It could be that, or it could be he just got out of a terrible divorce or something like that. So there are things sometimes that prevent a guy from going all in at that moment.
I agree.
But he will make it known.
I was gonna say that's where that transparency comes around,
absolutely.
and then that woman has the ability, has the power to say, okay, do I want to stay with you through this? Like PhD, he may say it's gonna take me a couple of years, and she may say, you know what, I don't want to wait around. Like, I want to be married in the next couple of years, but she at least is owed that courtesy,
exactly.
Right? So she can make that decision. And you made me think of something where there's women that are like, they're gonna break their vow of abstinence because they want a boyfriend or they want a husband, like And I always think, like, if he's not willing to date you or marry you because you're not having sex, he's saying everything else you have to offer is like unimportant. You know what I mean? It's not enough. And I'm like, you think that's gonna change when you get married? You know what I mean? If sex is the one thing that's like, okay, either you have sex or you don't. Like, if you don't have sex, I'm not marrying you. But you have sex, I'll marry you. So he's saying, like, that's the most important thing. Like, that's scary to me.
It is.
It's super. I'm like, if he's saying that, if he's conveying that, you need to run, because he's saying you alone is not enough.
Yeah.
So then it's time to, like, not break that abstinence. Like, okay, let me give it to you.
And you know what? Yeah. And one car accident.
I know, absolutely. Done. We talked about that again. Yep.
All it takes is one car accident and
none of that works.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
And you're not enough to keep him around, right? Exactly. Or faithful, and
So now you done lost like half your body, and you done lost your man. That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be
And he told you, right? Look, there was red flag.
But he did tell you though. He did tell you.
No, right.
Transparency.
So, right. And that worth, like, my worth's not in sex, like.
I mean, that's very admirable. I can say that.
That's what we keep saying.
Really
People always say it's so funny. I'm like, is it really? I'm just not. That's why I'm like, people are like, do you tell people on the first date? What? To me, it's not that, like, oh, it's just me refraining from doing something. That's it. Like,
why? You're like, why is it such a big deal?
Why is it such a big deal? I'd rather tell you, like, me going to school or writing the book, like, that took effort. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna share with you, because I'm like, I'm proud of that. It took effort. Me just avoiding temptation or tempting situations, to me, it's not like the thing that I like carry with.
Because we're in a society that's driven by sex.
Fair enough.
So that's why. Honestly, that's what we lead with, which is sad, but that's what we lead with.
Well, but in humanity's defense, we're hardwired for the sake of reproducing and continuing the human species. If you think about it, everything that we do is centered around reproduction. We want great jobs so we can bring in money, so we can have money to raise our kids. You know what I mean? Like we go out to bars and clubs and mix or kickbacks or whatever because we are looking for someone. You know, there are people that step outside of their relationship and cheat on their significant other because, I mean, that is the way to, you know, reproduce, but honestly, but it really
they
is.
Ain't trying to reproduce. They don't want to.
They're not trying
to.
to. Yeah,
right.
absolutely, absolutely.
We are hardwired to reproduce, but we're hardwired to have relationships. Genesis 2:22. Okay, so that's what people.
But come on now.
Because people again, because everybody brings this up, and it's just like we are. A man is supposed to join together with. That was the whole reason we're a helpmate for a man. We're not a helpmate just to reproduce. It was, you know, it starts out. He created, you know, the woman from the rib of a man to be a helpmate. He talks about that first, then go forth and multiply.
Right.
So, and we forget about the whole relationship helpmate piece. Everybody's just like, oh yeah, we are supposed to reproduce, but we're supposed to have relationships. We're supposed to be supporting each other. We're supposed to be helpmates to each other. And that's the part that everybody's like, oh yeah, okay, relationship's good, but you know, let me go and bust out these children. Like,
right.
And I think that's what people forget.
You're supposed to be bonded to that person, right? Adam and Eve were bonded.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Forever. That was the intent. You know what I mean? Amen. Have sex. Like God made it good. God made it great and amazing. All those things. And he said we would be fruitful from it. But there was within a certain context. And we perverted that. We perverted the word to say, well, God says this. But within what context? So do all that. Have relation, have sex, reproduce, but within the context of marriage, the person that you are bonded to forever. Not bonded, unbonded, bonded, unbonded. And that's why I said there's natural consequences when you step outside the will of God. So my friends who are single mothers, girls that I mentor that are single mothers, one girl's a teenager and she's like depressed because now she has the weight of the world on her shoulder, little girl. And as much as I pray for her, I had to let her know though, but do you understand what happens when you step outside the will of God? Like your baby is supposed to be a blessing. You are not supposed to be in this thing alone. A man is supposed to be by your side. But because you perverted what God said and did what he said to do, but outside the context, now there's natural consequences. That is not good. So now when a baby comes forth, or a woman has a baby, now it's this question like, do I keep it or not? It was never supposed to be like that. But because we stepped outside the will, it was always supposed to be a blessing. The Bible talks about that. A child was supposed to be a blessing, not a burden. Well, I mean, but because you stepped out financially, not that emotionally, say, oh, I don't want to do it by myself. And because you weren't supposed to do it by yourself. So, amen. Reproduce. Have sex. But just make sure you're doing it the correct way. The safe way.
I have to ask this question. What are your thoughts on people, and I really kind of only see this being women, honestly, I've never heard of men doing this, but what are your thoughts on, I guess, women that are single and they're adopting?
What do you mean my thoughts? Like
do you think that's, I don't want to say a perversion, but do you think it's somewhat, like, would you frown upon it, or do you think that is good on their behalf? Do you think that that's maybe, you think that they should be married if they're looking to adopt a child? Like, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
No, because I don't think it goes against anything biblically, right? Because they didn't have sex outside of marriage to bring forth that child. They're like, I mentor, girls. I'm taking them under my wing in a sense. So if they bring forth or adopt that child, I don't know where it's going against the word. So I wouldn't have an issue, you know what I mean, against it. Like, I don't think the Bible says don't be a single mom or anything. But
yeah, I just learned that you could actually do that. I think like 2 years ago or something like that.
What, like adopt as a single?
Yeah. Cause I every time you hear about somebody adopting, it's always a married couple. Always a married couple. And so I was just I was wondering if it's because maybe you have to show something that says that, she's unable to reproduce. Maybe that's why she's allowed to adopt as a single woman. I mean, I don't know.
Wow.
I've always wondered that.
I wondered that now too, because like, what if, historically, I wonder if that would have been an issue. Because we were a nation that had like morals that were tied to the Bible.
About family,
I wouldn't be surprised, if over time it's changed. But I've never thought that, but it might have been at one time where it's like, you're not a married woman? Oh, no. You need a husband. Like, how are you going to feed them? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, so. No, I don't have an issue.
Society evolves.
Oh,
It
yes.
does. I mean, look at the type of presidents we have now, you know? Right.
We live in a time where, not having sex is like the corny thing.
Yeah.
So it has evolved because at one time we were winning.
The corny thing.
Corny, what do you want to say? Lame, prude, weird. You're gay, really?
Oh, wow.
I've had that. Like literally, I was waiting for the day. I got asked it by a coworker and my cousin, and I laughed so hard because I'm like, I was kind of waiting, like, you know what I mean?
You
like
was ready for that one to drop.
Like now I've graduated. Before when I was like in school, they're like, okay, keep away from the guys. Oh no. But now that I've graduated, I'm living life. They're like, okay, like why wouldn't she be dating, having a boyfriend, going towards marriage? They're like, do you like guys? Like, yeah, I do. I go out with them. I just don't tell you about every date I go on. You know what I mean? But people could believe everything, but that I'm just choosing not to. They'll try to make sense of it, even though I'm telling them out my mouth. Like, did something happen? I'm like,
Right.
Like, besides me making a decision, no. I don't know.
One last thought that came to mind, though.
People, is this from the people or you?
This is actually for me.
Okay.
So has anyone ever asked you that, do you think you're able to continue the journey because you don't know what you're missing out on?
This one really irks my nerve because even someone said on live last night, like, it's easier when you haven't done it.
Because that's like the first thing so many people think.
I can't say it because I've never done it, but I think in saying that they kind of belittle the sacrifice I've made, or you know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't like that because I believe we're just on two different paths. And I always tell them, like, you have an advantage too, because say one day them hormones have surfaced and Earl used to be your jump off buddy, but the last time you had sex, it was trash, right? When it comes to mine, you may be like, you know what? It ain't even worth it. Like, I'm 6 months strong. Like, Earl would have been the one, but last time it was trash. I'm good. I'm just going to leave it alone. Like, you have a frame of reference. Like, is it really worth it? For us, it just all looks amazing. That's all you hear. Like, it's great, and you see it. And, so our mind does wander. We do have to fight against our thoughts. We have to fight against what TV feeds us. Like, I have hormones. I think people think like because I'm a virgin, like
some kind of robot or something.
Yeah, I'm dead inside. Like the moment I have sex, that's when your hormones awaken. I'm like, no, boo, you was fighting them when you was 12 and 13. Like you remember being in the bed, little boy. You know what I mean? Like stop playing with me. Like the urges didn't precede like sex. And like I have those same urges, so I fight for my life. I told them when I was in college, I was in the beds. I shouldn't have been in the beds, right? Playing around, and you know what I mean? So I know what it's like to be there on the cusp. Like, I couldn't go there, but I fought. You get what I'm saying? Now, I had to step away. Like, I'm going to go back to my room because I'm not messing with you tonight. So don't make it seem like we don't come against stuff and we don't have the right to say, like, we made this decision and, we're fighting just like you are. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's easier, but anytime they say that, they make it seem like it's a cakewalk and we're just flowing so easy.
Like you don't have hormones.
Right. Like we don't get tempted or tested by guys, like, and it don't look good and sound, you know what I mean? Like, stop playing with me. Right. So it's two separate things. Like, so I can't say it's easier, but I'm fighting.
I get it.
Make me look like I ain't fighting out here.
Well, yours?
I'm good.
Good.
I don't have any questions. I did want to touch on her HBCU stuff though.
Oh yeah, so real fast before we wrap it up, especially because I heard you guys are HBCU alum. So to make it super quick, it started with my school, Elizabeth City State University. We was getting a lot of backlash because some things had went wrong at school, right? I'm a proud ECSU Viking. Like for being a girl from up north and always wanted to go to HBCU and experience that. Like that's what it is, an experience, right? Going there, having black teachers. I grew up not having black teachers and them taking me under my wing and pouring into me and building me to be the scholar that I am, bringing me to South Africa. Like they exposed me. So I love my alma mater. And so I had started something for ECSU. It was ECSU Made, and it was to shine a light on the amazing professionals that ECSU was producing, because we was just in a dark place. And I'm like, let's not forget what they have made in the years, at least I've been there. So we were just posting about who ECSU allowed us to become and who they made us to become. So now I'm just transitioning to HBCUs as a whole, where I feel like right now, with the closing of a lot of HBCUs, but the initiative or the challenge is threefold. One is to shine a light on the amazing professionals that HBCUs produce, from celebrities to, CEOs to just like, entrepreneurs, trailblazers, historically, like, Martin Luther King and Thurgood Marshall and so forth. Secondly is I have t-shirts, and I want them to be a conversation starter to start a dialogue. And I always say, like, if you work at a bank and you're like an amazing banker, right? Like you're real thorough, and they're like, yo, John be on it. Like, he's really good. And then one day you come in with the HBCU Made shirt on, and they say, wow, he came from an HBCU. Right. You know what I mean? Like, they produce quality people like that. Like, they make that association. And then thirdly is to give back. So for every shirt that's purchased, it's going to be $3 donated to a HBCU. And my goal is, at the end of the year, whatever is produced from it, we'll find an HBCU that can really take advantage of that donation. Because we see a lot with these HBCUs closing, that there's not a lot of money. You know what I mean? That there's a lot of money. Now, I'm not saying I can save them, right? But we can do our part in fighting for our HBCUs. We see what Bennett, they raised that over $5 million. They said $8 million, and we still counting, right? But it was just bringing that awareness that, hey, we're in need. We're drowning a little bit. Yeah. Can everybody just give a little bit? Right. You know what I mean? And I feel like with my school, I did that. They purchased a shirt because they were proud to wear it. And then in the same essence or same instinct, they were giving back. So the same thing with HBCU Made. So I'm going to do a challenge. It's going to be I am HBCU Made. I want people to post just a 1-minute video. And the instructions are on my website. For sake of time, on ShakiaSeabrook.com, there's a tab that says HBCU Made. And there's a step-by-step guide on how you can join the challenges. Just help us save our HBCUs, because we amazing.
From 101 to 100.
Listen.
Look, we're gonna definitely put all those links on
on the episode and all the
that's love.
All the definitely. Social media.
Well, we appreciate you coming by so much.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
But plug you, your website, IG.
Oh yeah,
plug
you. Yes. So one more time, Shakia Seabrook, author, speaker, entrepreneur. On Instagram, I'm Shakia Seabrook 22. On Facebook, Shakia Seabrook. Website, ShakiaSeabrook.com. That's ShakiaSeabrook.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me. It was a good conversation. I had new questions.
I'm looking forward to the feedback.
It's coming.
Don't worry me.
It's coming. We will start to talk whatever. Talk and speak on next time. Until next time. And you will be back.
Oh, bet.